Hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel of Car Nonsense. Now, I like a rags to riches story, and in the car industry I think one of the best is Hyundai's. Now, a bit of a personal backstory, back in the kind of mid-90s, my dad owned a Rover 820, which obviously blew its head gasket, and he panicked and went down to the nearest car dealer where I lived in Chelmsford in Essex and bought a Hyundai Elantra. I didn't know what a Hyundai was. It was white, it was cheap, and it was sort of okay. But now, fast forward nearly 30 years, and I've been driving a Hyundai that is black, not cheap, but is very, very good. How we have come in the past 30 years, or how Hyundai has come, I've got to stop saying come. But anyway, this is my review of the new Santa Fe. Let's get on with it. Now, I don't know about you, but personally I love being surprised by a big black car, and this has really surprised me. I mean, just look at it. The first Santa Fe came out back in 2001, and that looked a little bit like a Toyota RAV4 that you bought from Wish after you've had a few too many shandies. This, I think, looks like a Land Rover product. Obviously, I don't have enough neck and face tattoos to drive a blacked out new Defender, but this is something else entirely. It is mean, it's purposeful. It's got these H patterns in the headlights which double up as the indicators. It's got serious road presence. Now obviously it's a big car, it's a 7-seater SUV, and it's just I don't know, it's almost nice that Hyundai's made all these crazy EVs over the past few years, and now they've let their designers loose with their combustion engine cars as well. This one is a hybrid. You can get it either as a front-wheel drive or four-wheel drive hybrid, or as a plug-in hybrid. It starts from about £45,000 and goes up to 60 grand if you want the top spec plug-in hybrid version. Now, admittedly, this is a top spec calligraphy model, not autobiography, calligraphy model with the four-wheel drive hybrid system. This is about £54,000. But yeah, I think it looks mean in black. You can actually get it in some quite interesting colours. There are some greens, some greys. The free colour is kind of like a burnt orange. And being a Hyundai, there aren't actually any options other than the ability to unlock it with your phone, which is about 300 quid. There are 3 trim levels though. There's Premium, Ultimate and Calligraphy. That's all the boring stuff out of the way. Let's talk about what it's actually like. Waffle, waffle, waffle. I like waffles, not blue ones though. What's it like? Well, yeah, it's huge. It's 4.83 meters long. So getting on towards 5 meters, and it's 5 centimeters longer, do the joke again, than the previous generation Santa Fe. Now here in the UK, I think you get 20-inch wheels on every single trim level. So yeah, they look small, but they are 20s and they're blacked out. It is just, yeah, vision in black, this one, frankly. Now, if you get a top spec one, you get these grab handles here. This one's actually locked to help you heave yourself into the back seats. But as you can see, it's not actually that tall. But yeah, it's big, it's imposing. It's quite a cool looking thing. Now, you might be thinking it looks like a brick, and Hyundai's designers have said it's meant to look like a brick because it was designed during the pandemic, when in Korea, people were indulging in a spot of chabak, which is camping in your car on a mini holiday. So this is actually designed to be slept in. And I think this car came from the UK launch where all the journalists did sleep in their cars, and they've also scrubbed all the writing off the sidewalls of the tyres driving it off-road. Brilliant. Annoyingly, they've left the word "come ho" on them by accident, which is endlessly entertaining for a child like me. Now, I think this is actually one of the highlights of the new Santa Fe. It's the cabin. It's got everything, but everything is pretty easy to use. So you've got big 12-inch screens that we've seen in other Hyundais and Kias and whatnot. You've got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto on the massive central screen, which is really handy. Now, if you get an entry-level premium model, you only get a single wireless charger. If you get a mid-spec Ultimate, which ironically is not the Ultimate Santa Fe, that's this one, the Calligraphy, you get 2. They are fast and they've got really grippy rubber pads on, so they're just a doddle to use. A couple of USB-Cs down there as well. Physical climate controls, all good stuff. Now, the weird thing, which I've not seen in a car before, is this UVC button. What that does is turn on a UV cleaning light in there. So the idea is you stick that on, put your phone in there or whatever, and after 10 minutes, it will have killed 99.9% of germs. Now, there is a design flaw. You can't fit a whole child in there. That would save on my water bill. But anyway, you've got a glove box underneath as well, which isn't the biggest, but it's okay. It's a full width one. You've got big door bins. cup holders down there, and again this thing here, which is really quite big and cool, and as I'm probably about to say, you can open it from the back as well. Now, no Hyundai badge on the steering wheel, it's too cool for that. You've just got the 4 dots, which I think is H in Morse code. Now, I would say you probably do want the mid-spec Ultimate model or upwards. You get things like the head-up display there, you get a digital mirror. If you click a button, that goes to a camera view. You also get the Bose sound system on mid-spec ones. That's actually really good. You get ventilated and heated seats on the mid-spec one upwards, and you also get the sunroof, blind spot monitoring, all that good stuff. This top-spec calligraphy just adds iron nappa leather, which is great, and leg rests, which pop out so you can recline. Not that you really have to do much reclining in this because it's not an electric car, you don't have to charge it. And I should point out that the gear shifter is down there. But it's a really nice cabin, and this one has got a lovely feeling kind of Alcantara headlining that makes it feel really premium. So I'm a big fan of this interior. It's practical, it's spacious as heck. And I should point out you've got this storage space under there as well, with a 12-volt socket. And just feels really nice when you're driving it. Now, even Stevie Wonder could see this one coming. There's loads of middle seat space in the new Santa Fe. I've got knee room, I've got foot room, I've got headroom, even with the slightly pathetic rear sunroof in this one. That will actually go forward when I turn the car on. And by the way, I'm 6'3". People always ask in the comments, and I get told off mentioning it too much. But yeah, the seats also slide and recline. It is very versatile. I've got air vents here as well, big cup holders in the door there. The centre console, I can actually open the lid from the back as well, so it's hinged at the front and the back, so I can steal mum and dad's Haribo. That sounds weird. I've got USB-Cs here, everyone gets a USB-C, and I've got window blinds on this top spec one as well, and I've got heated rear seats on it as well, and there's a flat floor as well, so the middle seat is actually really useful. I would like to try the 6-seat version, but Hyundai UK doesn't have any of those at the moment. But it is a cool big space. Now I'm going to put my Dignity on the line and hop in the back. The back. Let's go. Right, butt crack time. Let's get in the third row of the new Santa Fe. I've got a GoPro here to show you what I'm doing, but I've just pressed that button to slide that out of the way. And I've got quite a big step up into the back here. Ooh. But yeah, there we go, I'm in. And I'm kind of sitting on the floor. There you go, that's the armrest. I've got aircon controls, USB-C, a European socket there as well. Let's pull this one back. And yeah, I've got some room, but now they don't have any room at all. Hang on. There we go. So for 6'3" me to fit back here, this person in front has got to have bugger all room. But actually back here, headroom is fine, elbow room is okay. And actually, you could fit adults back here for short drives. It's not so bad. I'm not in agony. It's just, you got to have a short person in front of me for me to be able to fit. But for kids, it's going to be fine. And you've got Isofix in the back row, which is really rare. I've only really seen that on the new Kia Sorento. Awesome. Now let's look at the Santa Fe's bum. It hasn't really got one. It is flat. It's completely bluff. It's like when my anus fell off after a skiing accident in the late noughties. But yeah, got a camera up there for the digital rear view mirror. It says Santa Fe. You've got the H pattern repeated there. Looks a bit rude. Looks a bit Cadillac Escalade, I think. Now the boot isn't actually the biggest in the 7-seater SUV class. It's 628 litres in this. It's still a vast space, but the new Skoda Kodiaq is bigger. And if you flip the third row of seats up, you have got room for some small suitcases in the back. You've got a 12-volt socket, you've got a plug socket here, which for some reason on this UK car is a European style one, but whatever. You've got some USB-Cs there. You can electrically fold down the middle row of seats there. You can get this as a 6-seater or a 7-seater. So if you go 6-seater, you get 2 captain's chairs in each of the middle rows. Yeah, it's big space, but you've got these big intrusions here, which are the armrests for the third row passengers. And they eat up quite a lot of space, to be honest, and they kind of get in the way if you want to slide a massive tent in there. Got a bit of space under there for your tyre jizz. That's about it. It's a pretty big space, but not the biggest in its class. Should we go and drive it? I think we probably should. All right, let's go for a drive in the new Santa Fe. You put your foot on the brake, twiddle the dildo of drive modes into D, and off you go in silence. Now, this hybrid version is okay. It's okay. It's got 215 horsepower, of which 64 horsepower comes from an electric motor. And as I've probably said already, you can get this hybrid as either a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive. It's actually the slower of the two, 9.8 to 60, The front wheel drive is 9.6. There's not much in it, but it's not a fast car. Now, if you get the plug-in hybrid, you've got about 250 horsepower, you've got a 100 horsepower electric motor, and obviously you've got to plug it in to make the most of that. That can only do 30 odd miles on a charge though, which is kind of pitiful in today's world of better plug-in hybrids with kind of 60, 70 mile ranges coming from the Volkswagen group. But whatever, this is actually quite a relaxing car to drive. It is easy to see out of, despite being a brick. The visibility out the back corners is some of the best I've seen in a modern big SUV, because it's got extra windows in it. You've got big door mirrors. It's a bit intimidating at first because you see a lot of bonnet and you don't really know where it ends. But obviously you've got cameras all over it and sensors, and the emergency braking, when you're reversing, it vibrates the steering wheel before it kicks in, so it doesn't give you unexpected whiplash, which is good. Yeah, I've done motorway journeys in this. I've done about 300 miles in it, and motorways, it's pretty well refined. However, on a windy day, I got quite a lot of old school wind whistle from the sunroof, which was a bit unexpected in this one, but whatever. In terms of efficiency, I've averaged 37 mpg, which I don't think is that good in this day and age really, but it is a big heavy car with a petrol engine. That would be much better if this had a diesel engine. The only problem is that Kia and Hyundai's 2.2 diesel hasn't had any development since the Romans were in charge of everything, so it's not very efficient either, and you can't get it, so it's pointless talking about it. Now, one thing that has actually really annoyed me about this car is it's covered in sensors to make sure you're paying attention to the road. From this little thing here, it looks at your face. If, like I do, you wear polarized sunglasses, as soon as you put them on, it says I can't see your face, and I'm not going to do lots of the clever kind of driver assistance stuff because I don't trust you. And that message bongs up occasionally. So if you wear sunglasses, it gets annoyed at you, which is just so infuriating. These systems should be designed to work. I don't know, my phone unlocks when I'm wearing sunglasses. Why can't this see through them? But whatever. It's got lane keeping assist. It's got kind of semi-autonomous avoiding Skoda Fabias pulling out on new driving modes. All that good stuff. But actually you can turn it all off quite easily. In the speed limit warning bong, you can just map to a button on the steering wheel. Then you have to press a menu, and then you scroll down and then click off, and I've had a crash, but whatever, that's par for the course. I would say the ride is pretty comfortable. It irons out bumps pretty well. I'd say the ride's actually a bit better than the new Skoda Kodiaq, to be honest. It's, yes, a relaxing car to drive. It's not at all sporty, but it's a family car, as I always say. It's not very fast either. When you do put your foot down, you get a bit of electric shove, but very quickly you're in the realms of thrashy 1.6 litre engine revving out to 5,800 RPM, which is quite unseemly in an SUV. Now, I've just put out that video about driving a V12 diesel Audi Q7 and wishing they'd put it in the R8, so I probably sound like I just want diesel to come back, and I kind of do, because it suits cars like this, but I think those days are gone. Oh, I should have mentioned you got some terrain modes and driving modes. So what, if you put it in sport mode, it just makes the engine really revvy. Hasn't got adaptive dampers, so it doesn't stiffen it up. I wish I had adaptive dampers, so I could stiffen up. But anyway, I would say driving this is 90% relaxing and easygoing, with a couple of little annoyances from the electronics and the bongs, but you get used to that. Oh, it doesn't think I'm looking at the road, so I can't film without it bonging. Oh well, it's not a very YouTube friendly car. But anyway, I've waffled on way more than I should have done about how this drives. It's very comfortable with middle of the road into most aspects, but that's absolutely fine for most people. And the paddles are, yeah, they change the regen of the motor as well, a bit like in an EV, but you can't really do a full one pedal drive in it. Anyway, back to me for a conclusion. Right, time to wrap this video up. I've got to go to KFC, I'm quite hungry. What haven't I liked about the new Santa Fe? I think its biggest weakness is its engine lineup, to be honest. Now this hybrid system, this 1.6 litre petrol engine, it's just a bit too noisy, a little bit too thrashy, not that fast, not that torquey. The electric stuff helps, and it's not very efficient either. I've been getting 38 miles per gallon out of it, which would be fine in isolation, except the new Skoda Kodiaq that rivals this. Well, it's got a bigger boot, but it's also got diesel engines still, and it's got a longer range plug-in hybrid option that can do about 60 miles on a charge. The plug-in version of this can only do about 30 miles. So yeah, now we're down to things like the price. Yes, it's quite expensive, but then everything is quite expensive at the moment. I think for the money you're spending, you're getting a really smart looking car with loads of interior tech that's actually really useful. And as a family car with a big boot, loads of rear seat space, the option to take your kids' friends in the third row, it's right up there with the Kodiaq. I'm going to give it 8 Tim Roadies out of 10. It would have gone up to 9 if they'd given us a diesel, but I'm irrelevant like that. Anyway, I really like it. I think it looks mean. Go and buy one if you want a big family SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit like if you've liked this, subscribe to my channel of nonsense, go down to the comments and leave me the Korean word for why are you sleeping in your car? Do you not have a house? Anyway, goodbye.